you mentioned second chances, and there is a pattern in your short legislative career of focusing on criminal justice reform, particularly focused on the way that it sort of gobbles up young people and puts them into this vicious cycle of recidivism, and there's no opportunity to get your life back. There's no redemption. You just become caged with hardened criminals, and we get these absurd results we have in the American criminal justice system, where we're one of the top places in the world for putting people in jail. It just seems insane.
Right, and because of my experiences with the second chances, I never thought I'd be in the place where hey, civil rights, criminal justice reform, prison reform, that those are my issues, but I've fallen into that. The one bill I had signed into law as a state lawmaker was a prison reform bill that I modeled. I read about the First Step Act that President Trump signed into law in December of 2018. I started digging around and seeing what was done at the state level in South Carolina, and learned a lot about the state detention facilities and state prison system, and was just sort of flabbergasted at some of the findings that I had. And we did this bill, and we were in the majority. I was Republican. It wasn't something that I had to reach across the aisle and do, but I did that anyway. And we came out with this really great bill that banned the shackling of female inmates when they were in labor and delivery. This medieval policy that was still going on until about 2 years ago shocked the hell out of me and everybody else.
Yeah, that's insane.
And we got rid of it.
Yeah.
And we did it in a way that was 100% bipartisan. Not a single person, when that thing was voted out of the chamber and went to the governor's desk to be signed into law, no one voted against it. Every single person voted for it, and it gave me a lot of hope. I grew up in a small town, South Carolina, where the difference between rich and poor is literally black and white, and we have not made the right decisions or done the right job to help give people the tools, whether that's education, family. Give folks the opportunity to pull themselves out of poverty. Oftentimes, a government policy keeps them in poverty, keeps them uneducated. And this was just one small way that I could make a big difference in somebody's life, somebody who may need a second chance. And one of the things we did with that bill, too, is we allowed children to visit their moms in the state penitentiary once a week. If you want to give someone an incentive to make good decisions, to be a good inmate, and to get out early, the best thing you could do is allow their children to come visit them and give them hope and give them a reason to get out. And so that's inspiring for me. But also the area where I grew up, this is the home of Walter Scott, who was shot in the back, and as he was running away for not paying alimony. This in my congressional district, it's the site of Mother Emanuel, or Emanuel 9, 6 years ago next month, where 9 people were murdered. 9 black residents were murdered by a racist white young kid out of a wholly different part of the state who came down just to murder them. And then most recently, Jamal Sutherland. And civil rights issues are issues that have been historically championed by Republicans, but we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We don't work on these issues. And there are so many amazing programs that spend either the same amount or less than, say, prison, right, and have a far better rate of recidivism than the government could ever hope for.